Okay, everything looks like it's working. And Twitch is also up. Right? Okay. I think my Twitch and YouTube's working at the same time, like the chat. So I put that. Will it pop up on my YouTube chat? No, but it pops up in Twitch. Well, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, it was good. Okay. You be careful with that now. Take care now.
You may now enter the trial shuttle.
Okay, I think it's gonna be a two-person run.
You are the exterminator.
What mission is this for?
There is a snitch.
Oh, I've already done this one. I don't want to snitch again.
Let yourself be loved. Mother used to say, you can't cure stupid. I should have listened.
Okay, just real quick. A friend of mine told me that they've actually released footage of a UFO, like some object that was captured, and it's like on Reddit
And then
somewhere.
we can get into drugs.
Like, what perfect timing! I start playing Outlast, and this is what's happening. Okay, hold up. I need to. I need to see this. I need to see this one. Hold up. Okay. So this came out an hour ago. A former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the intelligence community inspector retrieved intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. The information, he says, has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation for his confidential disclosures reported here for the first time. What is going on? Okay, I'm so confused now. 1 second. Okay, there you go. That looks fine.
Please respect all sleep-room personnel.
Okay, and now I'm getting a call. I'll be right back.
You're getting better every day.
Hello, Eva. I was on a phone call. Because my girlfriend loves this kind of stuff, like aliens and the whole thing, and like true crime. Okay, well, let's see what this is. um, okay. The whistleblower David Charles Grush, 36, a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and the NRO. He served as a reconnaissance office representative. What is this? So apparently there was like an official release of aliens, or like they retrieved a craft of non-human origin. That's what it says. And a friend of mine just pinged me, and he was like, "Dude, you have to see this. Like, what is going on?" And so like I launched Outlast. I literally just launched the game, and as I go into the first mission, I get this message. It felt so like surreal. What is happening here?
Encourages you to maintain a positive mental
Okay, I don't know what that is. So he's like a whistleblower on some UFO part or something they found. Yeah, here it is. Let me just zoom that in. The task force was established to investigate what was once called UFOs and now are called unidentified anomalous phenomena. Okay. The task force was led under the Navy.
trust the therapy.
Okay. I mean, this is like. Are there videos of this? Are there like videos and photos of this? What do they call it?
Murkoff wants you to be free.
No, it's just. Yeah, I am a variety streamer. Well, I play Overwatch. I play Outlast. I will maybe play Dead by Daylight tonight. I just saw this and I was like, okay, I need to go through it. I think I'm just gonna read the entire story. This is very interesting to me.
Murkoff wants you to be free.
I like literally just started streaming. Maybe 2 days ago. Cause like I've always wanted to try it and I just never could. And I recently finished my master's degree and now have some free time before I start working. So I thought, why not? If I'm gonna be playing games or whatever, I might as well stream it. And so that's what I'm doing now.
We're all getting better together.
I've streamed for 2 days so far. That's it. I have been playing games since forever. Like I think I started gaming in like 2011, 12. When I was a kid basically. But I only started streaming like 2 or 3 days ago.
You are in control.
Yeah, I'm very new to streaming.
You are in control.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Freedom is waiting for you.
You do artwork for streamers? Sure, why not? Um, 1 second.
The choice is always yours.
Actually, you know, I don't have like a public Discord. Is there any way you can message me like just on Twitch?
Please respect all sleep-in personnel. You're getting better every day.
Oh,
All getting better together.
I'm not sure how to change that. Uh, I will have to figure that out some other time. I have no idea how to change messages on Twitch.
The choice is always yours. No one but you can say what you deserve. We're all getting better together.
So far, this just looks like, you know, one of those like clickbait articles. I mean, I just skimmed through it. Let's see what Reddit has to say, because Reddit always has a lot to say. So
We're all getting better together.
He testified to Congress under oath for 11 hours. There's that much evidence. Wow. Okay, there's an interview for it. Watch the interview. It's an hour long. Okay, I'm gonna put Outlast off. Alright. It's being super loud in the back.
Hello there, I'm Bryce Zabel, and you're listening to Need to Know. And as you recall from our last podcast, we had to mention that Ross wasn't with us. He was on assignment. And I'm happy to say that that part has been fixed. Ross may still be on assignment, and he is in Paris, France, but he's with us today. Ross, welcome back. We missed you a lot. Tell me what you've been up to.
Oh boy, Bryce, what a few weeks. It's can I just say for a moment, let's just stop for a moment and think about the fact that you and I both know what we're about to talk about.
Right.
I think this is the beginning of a very important moment in history. I really do. I don't think it's the moment, but I think it's a tipping point, a slow movement towards an admission by the US government of things that seem unimaginable. So what have I been doing? Well, we're actually pre-recording this because I'm going to be on the move when this goes to air. But what we do know is that at 8 o'clock New York time, 5 June, tomorrow,
So this
there is
came
going
out
to be
7
an
hours
article
ago.
appearing in the debrief written by Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal, which I hope will rock Washington, the intelligence community, and the Department of Defense right to its socks. It's the revelations of a hugely important intelligence community insider, a guy called David Grush, who until early April was a very senior member of the intelligence community. And Bryce, as you know, because you've been very much part of this, you've been very much a good mentor to me throughout all of this. Dave and I have been talking for some time, and I have the television interview with Dave Grush, which will be going to air later this week. And you'll see, hopefully, in this program, the News Nation TV promotional teasers that are advertising this forthcoming interview. I think what Mr. Grush has to say is quite momentous. It's big, and I think we have the beginning of what I believe will be a trail of whistleblowers, good men and women, who are now coming forward to talk about what they know about, incredible as it may seem, a non-human intelligence that's been engaging with this planet for many, many years, and incredibly even further, the fact that the United States government really is in possession of retrieved non-human technology. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, there's a little to think about. I want to thank you for the way you started it, because that actually describes my feelings. I met Dave Grush through you almost a month ago. I met him twice, had lunch with him, thanks to you again. But I have to say, I've spent many nights and days in the last month where I kind of sit there and drift off, because I'm thinking, wow, we've been doing this for a long time as a Need to Know podcast and YouTube channel, but I've been involved in this, as you have for years. And I've been thinking about what it's going to take. And you called it a tipping point. Yeah, that's what's been getting to me, because I've been thinking, well, we're actually at that point now where it isn't just hopeful, optimistic, random speculation, but it's beginning to get very, very real. So what I think would be nice for us is if we turn the table a little bit and let me interview you a little bit about how you tipped to Dave Grush, what you're going to have in your story that's so unique. And I think we should start with that. I think what a lot of people who have read the article that Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal wrote will be thinking is, okay, well, it's great. I read it in print. Who is this guy exactly? Well, you put him on camera. How did you find him and get him to do that?
I have to say, my impressions of Dave Grush are not formed just by talking to Dave Grush. Both Leslie and Ralph and I have done very methodical checking into his background. We've assessed his credibility, and more importantly, we've verified with many independent sources that he is who he says he is. He's basically the guy, he's one of the guys who quite literally was involved in putting together the presidential daily briefing for the President of the United States. He was cleared so highly with his top secret SCI compartmented clearance that he was given access to over 2,000 special access programs. And before any of you leap to conclusions and assume that he's another Edward Snowden or another person who's breaking the law to bring this information to the public, the extraordinary thing about Dave Grush's revelations are that he is making them under the authorization of the Defense Office Pre-Publication Security Review. He has been approved by the US Department of Defense to do the interview he's done with me and with Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal. I like to think, I'd hope, that this indicates a pleasant level of openness by the US Defense Department. But as Dave candidly has told me, he believes it's more a necessity for the US Defense Department. He's determined he wants to tell his story, and I think they see the DOPSA review as a way of trying to control his narrative. But it's hugely significant because essentially he has put what he wants to talk about to the US Defense Department, and he has received approval from the US Defense Department to talk about what he reveals to both Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal and myself. I think that's quite huge, and it's a very pleasant degree of openness.
I think I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit. This is just a lot of
He knows
stuff.
out there,
I'm
and to
not going to
ensure
listen
that it's
to an
quickly,
hour of
publicly
this guy's
investigated
speaking.
with the New York
Just
Times
go
and the
like
Washington
30.
Post. I've written stories that have been vetted by their editors. I know how hard it is to get a story through.
And Helen Thomas article. Was it Helen Thomas? Is that, did I have that right?
Helen Cooper.
Cooper, excuse me, Helen Thomas, another reporter out of Washington in years past. Listen, you brought up Daniel Ellsberg. Just today, there was an article out in Politico that is titled "Daniel Ellsberg is Dying," and he has some final things to say. Daniel Ellsberg was possibly the most significant whistleblower in U.S. history. He's the guy that got the Pentagon Papers published. And this is what he said in that interview. He's talking about the value of whistleblowers. And he said, when everything is at stake, when everything is at stake, I'm talking about nuclear war implicitly here, but climate is the same. When we're facing a pretty ultimate catastrophe, when we're on the edge of blowing up the world over Crimea or Taiwan or Bakhmut, from the point of view of the civilization and the survival of 8 or 9 billion people, when everything is at stake, can it be worth even a small chance of having a small effect by being a whistleblower? And the answer is, of course it can be worth that. You can even say it's obligatory. So let's just let's tip to Daniel Ellsberg and the great contribution he made. And I wish more people will look at that and see how it was done and try to bring it to this. I do want to get back on track on our interview, or your interview rather, with Dave Grush. When I watched it being recorded, and then later as it was cut into various things, I thought, wow, he is definitely saying some outrageous things. And when people hear it, they'll hear them. But there were some things that he said off camera as well that were kind of outrageous. But he also said, and you were very diligent in pressing him on certain of these issues, and he said many times that there were places where he literally could not say, but he had delivered all the relevant material to the proper committees. All right. He said that many times. And I think he was talking about the fact that, as I understand it, he has spoken under oath in classified hearings to the Senate Intelligence Committee, and I believe even a House committee, where he has told not only the story he told you in those 6 to 7 hours, but all the stuff about locations, people, names of projects, etc., where he has laid those details out and told the Senate and the House, hey, folks, if you really want to kick the rocks over and find out what's underneath, this is where you go. Has Dave Grush offered up a credible roadmap then to the American government for how to get out of this?
Yes.
Good. Moving on. No, seriously, am I right about that? That he's spoken under oath for over 11 hours to Congress?
Correct.
I mean, if you think about that, with him naming specifics of all the things that he was very proper about, it's almost like there was a line given him with this DOPSA review, and he knew he could go up to there, but he wasn't supposed to go there. That part
he knows much more than he's told us. I'm sure.
Absolutely. So when people watch these interviews as they roll out over the next few days, and frankly, probably over weeks, I want everyone to understand that he is also stating that he has given the details about what these reverse engineering programs are, crash retrieval programs are, and he's told names and dates and all the stuff that Congress would need if they really wanted to go look into this in a serious way. So I think we are at an inflection point, and Dave Grush is probably going to go down in history as someone who helped usher it in. I mean, so let me just ask you this. Where do you see Dave Grush fitting into the grand story of disclosure that admittedly has been going on since at least 1947?
Okay, Dave is not a direct witness. He has not touched a flying saucer or been inside the program, but he's done the next best thing. What he's done is he's found the documents, the photographs, and the people who do, and they have given their evidence under oath, particularly to the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, who found his allegations to be urgent and credible. And because of that, they were referred on to the oversight committees of the Congress, including the Senate Intelligence Committee, one of the most powerful committees in the Congress, and the House Intelligence Committee. And I know that a large number of the congressmen and senators perhaps didn't attend the hearings, but to cover themselves, they sent their counsel, their lawyers, to observe, and senior staffers who had security clearances. And it's interesting because I think what's happening here is there's been a very, very careful attempt by the politicians to keep themselves at a careful distance. Because I think what's happening now is the Congress really doesn't know what to do about Dave Grush's evidence. He's wrong-footed them. He's come forward and said, I know all about the program. This is where the craft are. These are the people you need to talk to. These are the code names of the various programs that are secreted inside special access programs inside the Defense Department. These are the people responsible in the Defense Department. This is the aerospace companies that are involved. He's given them chapter and verse. Now, what I'm really worried about is Congress needs to show a spine.
Yeah.
They need to develop a new set.
Okay, so far there's no proper evidence out, or like at least they haven't released any evidence. But there might be some coming out tonight, according to someone on Reddit. Like this person was saying, the interview with the actual whistleblower has not been released yet, but I believe it was confirmed to be releasing tonight. And so he said this 3 hours ago, so I mean, like by tomorrow morning, maybe there's some evidence on this. This whole story is just so like of course there's other people out there, there's definitely aliens and stuff, but like having actual proof of it, that would be insane. And like this is fact checked, it's not even just something that they're saying, like this is properly fact checked. Let's see what it says. If the government has UFO crash materials, it's time to reveal them. It's a very interesting story. But I mean, let's see how it develops. I think I'm going to end the stream for a little bit. But that was very interesting.